All right. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Uriah Guenther, and this is a word from the Lord. Um, Hope you guys find this well and are doing well. So, if you would go ahead and turn to your Bibles, in your Bibles, to John chapter 15, and I'm going to read the first few verses really quick. Starting in verse 1, Jesus says, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered. And men gather them, and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you." And I would just, going off of what I'd mentioned this past Tuesday night, but as I get older in ministry and in life, I recognize that the ministry principles, the 9 pillars that our church stands on, those doctrines are the most essential to growth and maturity. I'm not waiting on the next biblical level of study to unlock. I'm not waiting on, myself to level up, so to speak. What I need in life is to be a good Christian. And defining parts of a good Christian are those principles being pillars in your life. And one of those pillars looks like fruitfulness. In this passage we just read, talks about how God cultivates his garden, right? God, Jesus says he's the true vine and calls his Father the husbandman. There's a few great verses about the husbandman. To note, Genesis 9:20, Noah began to be a husbandman. I have multiple screens here, so that's why I'm looking over here. Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. 2 Timothy 2:6, the husbandman that laboreth must be first partaker of the fruits. And then James 5:7, be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth. God is growing a garden. He is cultivating his ministry here on earth. And what he desires is for us to be fruitful. He's not just purging the branches to sow persecution and distress in your life. What he's doing is looking at this garden as he walks through it. Maybe there's a need in Vietnam for, this is all hypothetical now, but there's a need in Vietnam for a load of tomatoes that he's growing in his garden. And for this gardener to provide those tomatoes to Vietnam, his customer, he is attending that garden and cultivating it and raising up the ripest tomatoes that are going to carry his name as he gifts them or sells them or trades them to Vietnam, because they have a need and he's going to provide. And in that same way, God is tending our life. He is treating us like plants and removing the vine that is sneaking in and stealing our supply, or removing the branch that is withered. He pulls that away so that we can grow more with that we can grow stronger there and not be pulled down by that distraction. And so in that same way, God is tending his flock. He's tending his garden. He's tending us and cultivating us as a garden. So every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. God is pruning and purging and pulling out and just making the ripest garden that he can, producing the best fruits that he can, because he has a world that he's providing for through you. Jesus said, if a man abide not in me, he is cast forth. If he that abideth in me and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. The branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine. And so as we study things like fruitfulness and seek to be fruitful in our own lives and allow God to do something in us that helps us to bear more fruit, that falls out to bettering the Great Commission, that falls out to being better members of the Great Commission or of the church. As you become a healthier plant, you are a healthier member to the garden that God is growing as the husbandman. And so I hope that helps and isn't confusing. That's just something that I've been studying out, just being fruitful. But love you guys. Have a good day.